that want to persist, think very hard what would be the main way for you to get this object. The key is very flexible. You can do the key can be pretty much anything you want. So, you know, if you need the email address of the user is a key, let's keep that. You know, if that's what you want to use for query the object. If you want I don't know, anything else, do whatever it takes to make sure you query by key as much as possible. Something else that is even making this point more important is on high replication data store, which is a data store you are going to use if you start now. It's the default behavior is eventually consistent. What it means is when you write an object, and if you do a query a second later to get this object, it will not be found, because maybe the index will not be yet replicated, or even worse, you create an object to make it persistent, later on you update the object, and you query for this object. You may not get the latest version, you may be getting a version that is not yet updated. And the reason why is because there are several data stores in different locations, and the replication is not instant. And when you do a write to the object, you are sure your write is committed in one place, but you are not sure yet it's replicated everywhere. So, yeah, when you query by ID, if you have an object, you are sure that the system will give you back an object. And typically, I think the right version of it, I'm not super sure about it. Yeah. But by ID, stuff will work much better. Like query, if you do quick queries after creation of objects, yeah, you cannot be sure. So always also think of when you do something, don't plan to write using a few seconds difference. I believe they say the contention issues will happen if you write more than once every 5 seconds a day. So don't plan to write the same object. When you design your data model, like taking back my chat, we could have created one chat transcript object, and we could happen new messaging, like the visitor say hello, the agent say hello Antonella, may I help you? I'm looking for this product ABC. So if we had one object like that and we kept updating it, that means that we could end up in a situation where we were trying to update an object which was not yet replicated somewhere else, and we would have the issue of data contention. So when we designed the data model, the transcript, we created one object per transcript line. Each transcript line has a timestamp, and we bundle them back together only when the chat is finished. So at the end of the chat, we create a task queue, and we say, okay, now the chat is over, gather all the lines between Antonella and the visitor, and put them together in a text transcript. So it's all type of little thing. You have, if you are doing a single home data storage on a SQL server, you would not have to think about that. But since you have to think of scale, of stuff happening in different locations, in a replicated world, you have to put your mind around that. Also for cost, it's very important. You want to minimize the write you do because they are more expensive than the read. And the other thing is memcache. The default shared memcache comes as a free service to you. So if you know that you're going to read something pretty likely, in the near future, you should commit to the data store, but also put the object in memcache. That when later on in your code you do read this object, first check in memcache. It's super fast. So it will be about 5x at least to read memcache compared to the data store. If memcache says, oh, sorry, you don't have this data anymore or not at all, then you go to the data store. You didn't lose that much time and you didn't lose any cost. But most of the time, if you hit memcache, you'll be much faster and way cheaper. Okay, so main best practice designed for infrequent writes. Exception. So I think most Java developers are used to that, to have a good code sanity, to handle exceptions as much as possible. On top of what you're used to, there's platform exceptions. Like if the data store has some problem, contention, or a small outage, temporary invalidity, there will raise exception to let you know what has. Memcache sensing, if a scenario that happens regularly, not too often, but maybe once, twice a week, Google has to move the application from data center A to data center B because of capacity store is replicated already, data will be there. But the main cache server, which is memory only, when they shut down your main cache in data center A and they start for you a new main cache in data center B, it starts empty fresh. And also for during the transition time when they switch you, the write will be disabled because they don't know exactly what to write. So you will be informed of all of this by exception, that data store is not writable at this point. Catch up, otherwise your code will be behaving pretty badly. The most important one to catch, I mentioned earlier, an AppEngine request has to terminate within 60 seconds, otherwise the scheduler will kill it. And putting again my Java hat here, if the scheduler kills the process, which is a thread of this too long-lasting serving, killing a thread in Java typically means the complete process will die. Because the thread become they are not clean anymore, and the JVM, will have to restart. So never let AppEngine kill one of your threads, because you will, typically, AppEngine application should serve 20, 50 queries per second. When you lose this serving power just because of one failure, then your application is trouble, because the scheduler has to create a fresh instance. Creating a fresh instance is fast compared to what you're used to on a string server. Typically, it will take 5 to 10 seconds to go to the JVM library. During this 5 to 10 seconds, you are now under capacity. So if that's also the moment where you have a spike of traffic, then you will start having some serving issues. So, sorry.
And there is a way to improve resources. For example, you say that if an action takes more than the sum 60 seconds, it's killed.
Yeah.
And if I want, for example, if I need all the logic that takes more than 60 seconds, can I improve resources under the work platform to let me do this action faster than 60 seconds?
Oh, you can do it faster, because if you know that you have something close to 60 seconds but it's really a bit short, you decide you want. There is 3 types of instances they offer: the F1, F2, and F4, which are different CPU memory size. So if you know that with the F4 you are always below 30 seconds, then you're fine. Even though they still suggest for the web front-end serving, you should try to be very responsive. It's meant to be user-facing. If the user has to wait 30 seconds or 25 seconds, it's not a real-time application. And also the scheduler, if many of the requests are taken that long, the scheduler will have a hard time. What they like best, if you can serve within 1 second, that is best. You will get the best application performance. But they let you up to 60 seconds. Let me also take another parenthesis here. I forgot to mention it earlier. The task queue can run for 10 minutes. The cron jobs, the scheduled job as well, your basis can run also for 10 minutes. If you don't want this constraint, they have AppEngine backends, which are instances that you instantiate for as long as you want. And this one can do as much work. They don't automatically scale. So if you want to do long processing and you need 5 instances running your application on an AppEngine instance, you can do it. If you want to do customer serving, you say, okay, this instance will automatically start on the first request, and I want to run robin up to 4 instances, you can also do that. So it's not the same scaling capability for sure as AppEngine, but you can have servers in your application that can run for as long as you want. Typically for reporting, when you want to do I don't think we use that for export now. It's not for customers. It's more for internal reporting, or weekly dashboard meetings we do with the teams and the host customers. We have backend processing that takes 5-10 minutes. We don't want to have the task queue. We're not sure it's going to be done in 10 minutes, so it's all on the backend. When the person running the report hits the endpoint, AppEngine starts the instance to run for as long as needed to get the data processed. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. But always try to think about it. Your customer-facing requests that are automatically scaling should be super fast. 1 minute, it's a dead limit, but it should be as fast as possible most of the time. Okay. So anything is possible. It's just not the same. You know, again, to summarize, you have the web serving part. You have the task queues, cron job for 10 minutes, and then you have the backend, which can run for as long as you want. Okay. So I was just talking about this 1 minute maximization, where the deadline exceeded exception. Because you want the deadline. So they raise exception to you a few fraction of seconds before actually killing your application, which gives you the opportunity to say that now you want to terminate this task. Like if you're processing something, you can just quickly return the error message. Or you can do if you are doing a customer-facing thing in JavaScript, you can do a JavaScript redirect in your web page to have them retry again. Because maybe it failed because, I don't know, maybe the communication with your server, we talk about Salesforce, for example, maybe you're doing a Salesforce query, it took too long, but maybe in a few seconds it will work fine. So just redirecting the user to the same URL may work fine. So you have to find an exit strategy which will be super fast to run. Okay? A quick answer, a quick write on the web page. So yeah, don't let the deadline is the exception uncode because you will be in trouble. Question? Yeah.
Question, but maybe I missed something you introduced 2 minutes ago. But can I have the control through the API to schedule, for example, schedule a thread on a CPU core and another thread on another CPU core?
No.
Some sort of parallel programming at low level, not but
you run with threads, but you don't create threads like that. It's not no. Each serving is a thread on the JVM, but no, you don't. If you want to do some processing, as you said, the result will be different. You will start the task. So it's an API call to say schedule this task to call this servlet, and this servlet will be a different thread on most likely a different machine, not the same JVM, right? So with the scheduling of the task, you put some payload as well. These are some IDs of the task to retrieve the environment from data store or from Memcache, or if it's available later, maybe just the payload of the task itself to have everything you need. But yeah, you don't think of thread programming on the machine, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, something else is kind of doing a bit of Google here, but it's what I call a smart sourcing. Google provides lots of APIs, very good stuff for like sending email. But when we send email using the Google API at the beginning, 4 years ago, many customers were saying, I don't get your emails. Now it's a spam folder. And we had no idea about that. So I'm sure they improved quite a bit, over the past 4 years. But so what we did at the beginning, we said, okay, so the email API of AppEngine is not cutting it for us. So we looked around, and SendGrid, their job is only that. It's doing APIs to send emails, transactional emails. And they have dashboard for us. We know how many of went to spam, how many were delivered and stuff. Pretty good statistics. So yeah, that's what I want to say here. For your application, for what you need to do, don't just use the AppEngine or the Google provided services because it's there. Maybe there's better services out there more suitable for your application. And just giving you a few examples. So SendGrid is one. Geolocation. Google provides very basic geotagging of each incoming request. So if you hit SnapEngage right now, the header of your request will be tagged by the Google front end with your city, approximate latitude, the country, and when they hit the app server running the AppEngine, the SnapEngage code, we know this from the front end. So it's very convenient, but they don't give us the ISP name, they don't give us the or the company. If we are doing SnapEngage from here, we probably see the Telecom Italia from someone like Maximind. So we use Maximind for that. For telephony, in fact, I don't think Google has anything, but there's Twilio, which is a partner of Google for sending, receiving SMS, for doing phone calls and conferences. Very nice API. There's a jar file just for AppEngine for some values of pricing as well. I mentioned earlier the channel API. great, but it's not so great because they may lose messages. It's not meant for critical stuff. So for that, there's several services. Pusher.com is one, for example. It has a very nice high-level APIs, and they don't just use long polling. They will use WebSocket if your connection allows it. So WebSocket is socket in the browser, and they will fall back. I think they fall back to Flash. Flash is there, and then fall back to HTTP. Worst case. So they have a pretty nice stack of support. So yeah, now your application for doing customer invoicing is live. You have many happy customers, but sometimes there's something AppEngine not working the way you want. It could be your code, maybe you didn't design properly, and you need some people that are experts in the platform to help you out. So what is your question? There are several places for free. Google has kind of stars and StackOverflow.com. It's a pretty nice platform. There's always people helping you here. Even Googlers, Googlers, the dev brain for AppEngine, are there watching the thread of AppEngine. So if you type properly, you may get a quick answer from nice guys from Google. They have IRC. Honestly, I never had good chances on IRC to. Yeah, you see there's Googlers there, but they don't reply. So at least. They have a mailing list. That was the stuff from the beginning. I think it's less and less. Stack Overflow is probably what you want to use. But once the application is making some money, you probably want to have a contract, a support contract with Google. What it gives you is it's a portal where you can submit a question. You say it's a question about AppEngine development, and you say, okay, I'm trying to use a task queue for this and that, and for some reason it doesn't work. I get this exception. And someone from Google will reply to you. So if you pay the starting point at $150 per month, you get just email. If you pay $400 plus a percentage of your AppEngine bill, you get phone support as well. For troubleshooting, that's pretty useful because you will hit some point in the life of application where the platform won't behave the way you want. It could be because there's a problem at Google, it could be because of your code, it could be a mix of both. So doing email back and forth on questions is not always super lucky. So sometimes being able to pick up the phone and call is super useful. For us in Europe, the team handling phone support for AppEngine is in Zurich. They have a team of 3 or 4 people. And what is good is I think they will probably have less customers and more support. So every time I have to call, I get someone to phone very quickly. So it's very nice. And something else, so you had an event about cloud in Rome, right? GDG Rome. I've seen some slides from an event you had a few weeks back here. No?
I didn't get.
No, did you organize a GDG event about cloud here,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Google.
Google organized.
Oh, Google organized. You brought the folks.
Yeah.
I hope you guys ask for business cards from the Googlers because they are your best friends. These people are Google developer advocates. Their job is to hear about what you are doing and also to help you out. From the beginning, when we started on AppEngine, we had 2 people from the Google developer advocate team. It's been so helpful, giving us good practices. We're not even on support, there's no such thing as support at the time. But also promoting the application, they've been telling us the developers about what we're doing. If you want to do a blog post talking about what you are doing, they will be very happy to take your writing and putting that online for you if it's interesting to the community. So we want to leverage this great team of Googlers who are basically their job is to make you successful. Alright, we've got 2 more slides to go. Time-wise, is okay there? Alright, the first one I've been hearing the most is, yeah, but if I go to AppEngine, then I'm stuck with Google for the rest of my life because my code. Yeah, no, it's not true on internet. But we hear that quite a bit because these services that if I use the mail API and then take my code away, it won't work. So, a few things. The first one, as of a few months ago, there are 2 platforms compatible with AppEngine. If you like, JBoss, they developed Cape Dwarf, which is a layer on top of JBoss that emulates the AppEngine APIs. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. If you look at the Kepler project, I believe it's an open source, something like that. Yeah, the coverage is pretty good. I think we have taken a picture. I can give the link to the slide if you want to Antonella afterward. She can share that. So Kepler there is very new, it was announced only a few weeks ago. But another one has been there for longer is AppScale. AppScale is not just software; it's a platform. You can run your application on Google or on AppScale, and they will let you deploy AppEngine application on AppScale. So you're not locked in. You can push your application elsewhere, and it's very likely will work well because it's 90-something% coverage of all the APIs of Google. Something else also to mitigate the point of I cannot switch. If you are somewhere and you want to switch somewhere else, it's always difficult to switch anywhere. And yeah, you will have some work to do. Even if you just stop pushing to AppScale, you have to retest and you have to do some more stuff. It's not a free switch anywhere for everything. There are a few stuff you can do to avoid too much rework if you need to port your application to your own platform. Like, several of these high-level services that they provide are great because you save time at development, but then if you have to migrate, then you spend the time now to move to something else, like a PasteQ XMPP. I still strongly suggest that you should use that because that's so convenient. There are some you don't want to use, like a Google account. If you tie your application and all your users are required a Google account, and then you want to move to the platform, you don't have. So exactly. So you have to think smart. Either there is an option, make sure you store not the account ID, but at least the email address of the user if you need it. So there are stuff. Just plan smart, just in case. But typically, when you make a choice like that, it's for the long term because you want the stability to continue to be none of your problem. The cost as well, and especially more at the beginning, because they launched AppEngine in preview. The cost was so cheap. They was charging only by CPU hours. It was a magical thing that they were computing. Now they switched to instance hours instead to be more like the norm of the market of the industry. When they switched from the subsidized pricing of the preview to the new pricing, it was a huge increase. I don't remember exactly the detail. It was probably maybe a 4x or something like that. But again, now the price is fair. Before the price was clearly it was a gift because of the people to try it out, give feedback. It was a preview product. The biggest thing that makes the price competitive is you pay for what you use. When they scale your application up, when your traffic grows, they add instances, and you pay for these instances time. If your traffic slows down, the scheduler will kill instances because you don't need them anymore, and then you won't pay for these instances. Most systems, you have to run your server for the months, for the year, and they are up all the time even though you don't need them. That's not the case. And an important thing to think of cost is, let's again think of if you had to go to a VPS system, you had to run these instances and all the systems. Think of all the time you would have been necessary to put all the services, find the right task queue management system, find the right main cache server you want to use, find the right database you want to use, find the right backup database you want to use. So all this development and sourcing of these services, plus also all the time that you will need to use every week or every month to patch the server, to run these backups for you. And on all this IT type of infrastructure stuff that for a small company like a startup, you definitely don't have the resources for that. When you are small, you want to keep your team focused on one thing, is your customer, your product, and go from nothing to a minimal viable product in no time. Alright, so a quick summary, and then we can take more questions if you want. From my standpoint, I'm very convinced AppEngine has a strong value position, and I've got the list of points. First, the quick to start. So you download the SDK and you can develop right away on your machine for your application and push it to the cloud, just pressing a button. So there is no complex stuff. There's a bit of learning. As I mentioned, the data store is different from what you've been used to for most of you guys, but still very quick to start. You go from your ID to a quick code that runs in the cloud and a minimal valuable product in the best possible time frame that you can think about. It's simple to use, and this part is because of all these services they provide that allow you to think at a high level. You don't go and redevelop, this task queuing or all this stuff. They provide you the framework to make your code high level, and again, you save time to go quickly to a product. They offer a rich set of APIs, not just AppEngine. We talk about GWT, we talk about there's math. There's so much stuff you can integrate with to make your app richer with all these other APIs to provide. And the best part of it is this immediate scalability and fault tolerance. Your app will grow in instance count and slow down instance count. If some data center fail because power outage, network outage, Google will take care for you in the night to switch your traffic elsewhere. There are people on duties there at night to make that happen. You won't have your pager ringing because you need to run in the data center to go switch some cabling. Yeah, and this last point is what I just mentioned. You are paying for use. It's pretty significant as well. Alright, so I hope that you've been convinced that when you start your next big project or invoicing company for you will try AppEngine. To just put the last spin on the small startup spirit, when we did AppEngine, we worked for two technical co-founders, two people to start with the product, who were both developing we had a minimal viable product of AppEngine in only a few weeks. It was nothing to what we have today, obviously, but and we've been growing as a team, adding developers and adding also support staff, and we still have a small team. We are a 5 years old company, and we are 12 or 13 people. So it's very small size company for sure for 5 years of business. So and now I think I will take your questions.
Just a question about the company. Which language is used in this project?
So about Java, only Java. That's why for us GWT is important because we all have a strong Java background. So we do obviously some JavaScript for some stuff, but for the complex dashboard, for the web client where our customers are doing the chat, all this is written to GWT, cross-compiled JavaScript, and we can debug in Java. So we have type safety as well because when we write, when we compile this to JavaScript, everything is double checked for sure.
I think there is a little bit of effort because also if there are standards, it can be there is something different from all the common technologies that are used or frameworks that are used in other projects. So these can be discouraged who want to start with this kind of technology.
Yeah, if we're starting today, will we use GWT? I'm not sure. 5 years ago, it was definitely a very strong choice. It was a growing language. Now, it's a mature platform. If I had to start something similar today, we may go with something different. I don't know what, but we may. But still, the proposition that GWT had is still very strong. I didn't even mention that because it's not a great proposition. But when you compile your Java code to JavaScript, the GWT compilers create different JavaScript for different targets. I think by default you do 5. One for IE 10, maybe one for IE 9 and below, one for Chrome or WebKit, one for. So you end up with optimized code in size and for performance as well. And when you add internal standardization or whatever, the localization of your code, rather than doing one JavaScript with all the locals in there, the compiler will now decline or will multiply the version. So you have 5 before and you do 3 languages, you end up with 15 permutations. So for each browser, you have a localized version of your JavaScript. So you have English, Italian, Spanish, 5 times. So it's again size-wise. Your user on Chrome in Italy have the fastest possible download because you won't be loading the English version. So it's happening, yes. You have more? No?
Do you have some no code or some example application to show us? No.
I could show you Eclipse. The thing is, as I mentioned, if you open Eclipse, the Google plugin, you have create me a sample application. I know you take quite a bit of time to.
In the last days, they are publishing a lot of sample applications.
Oh.
Also in Python, tu non c'eri all'evento del 13. Every day they are publishing new sample application. So if you go to Google developers, you will find.
Something I could mention as well. So it's not for Java, but if you want to do Python, they have the new green button here. So it's an environment for you to online. You load a sample code in a web code editor. You can play with it and make it run in the cloud, so on AppEngine. So you can even try whether it's an SDK. It's only Python for now. It's experimental. It's super new. And yeah, I think that's what you said. They do video. Fred Stover video.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, there are some stuff. So yeah.
Glielo traduco così, c'è una nuova cosa, soprattutto con Python, che hanno fatto, per cui non c'è bisogno che tu hai l'ambiente AppEngine installato, tu ti crei l'account gratuito e ti carica automaticamente le applicazioni di prova in modo che tu le possa provare passo passo, modificare, ti fa tutto lui senza che fai niente. Non devi passare dall'Hello World. E c'è un bottoncino verde, caricami questa applicazione.
I just had a few screenshots if you want to see an example of a huge scaling an application. If you see now there was a 500 QPS and suddenly going peak at 2500 QPS in a matter of it was probably 1 hour and a half. And it was probably nighttime as well, it was probably daytime here. Imagine if you had one instance or two instances in a small PPS, it would have just died. Everything would have been erroring out. Here, I think it was an example some years ago about TV ads somewhere. Big marketing push of one customer when we had a small customer at the design and pose this type of slide. So yeah, that's and you have very detailed dashboard. If you want to, I can show you some dashboard code. Don't have an example ready to show some code. And typically, when we look at labs in the GG Berlin, it takes an hour and a half or 2 hours just to go through some code and show that it works. So I don't think we're that much time tonight. Another important thing is, and they are merging kind of together also dashboard. So it was taken a few months ago. They have an API dashboard where you can see all the APIs Google provide. It's not AppEngine specific. It's API, BigQuery, cloud storage, cloud SQL is in there as well now, and I think they're going to kind of together all these different things. So it gives you so much ideas when you go with this stuff and see all these APIs and read about what they do. You say, oh, well, I can do this stuff really, I can do that. So and you have also idea of how many free quota you have to play with it, and the cost, the pricing is also linked from it. If you have a bit of time, go to I think it's codegoogle.com/console or yeah. Okay. It's sometimes I like to wonder, what they have, what they use. I think that's all I have for the. I could just continue if you want to. Any other questions about? Just did I somehow convince you that the next platform for you is AppEngine or? you're still skeptical about it, right?